Josh with Scout Reviews.
And I'm Travis.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget.
Hey, welcome to Scout Reviews. I'm Josh.
And I'm Ed.
And today we're doing a brand video. Now, this is a treat for us. I don't know if it's a treat for you. It's definitely a treat for us. And we're not going to get into pricing or any of that because, honestly, with these bottles, pricing could be $65. It could be $600.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get into that because it hasn't come back enough to where it's regular enough to where it's a good solid price. It's going to depend on where you live, where you're buying from, and all of that.
Too popular.
Yeah. So, that being said, a little bit of history, or a little bit of knowledge. Weller is owned by the Buffalo Trace Distillery. That wasn't always the case. Go ahead. You know this better than I do.
Well, thank you. Weller Stitzel Weller actually is what they originally opened up as in Louisville, Kentucky. And then they were bought out by Buffalo Trace, I believe, when bourbon hit its collapse, like in the 80s. They got bought out by Buffalo Trace at that point. Okay. And then they took over the brand and then started producing it under their umbrella. To which now the original Stitzel Weller distillery is owned and run by Bladenbow. So
it was its own
thing
for 150 years.
For a long time. Old Fitzgerald and Stitzel, were there in Louisville, Kentucky for a long time. Yeah. I opened up back in the 1800s. So.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure this started in 1825. Yeah. That's one of the facts I know. 1825.
That's right.
Okay, cool. So now there are other Weller bottles. There's Special Reserve, which is the green label. And then I think it's a C.Y.P.B.
Yes, Create Your Own Bourbon, which was
Create Your Own Bourbon.
That was a program they put out, I don't remember how many years ago, but it's basically people online would submit what their perfect bourbon, like percentage of corn and whatever, and then they made those bottles. So
now that's a white label,
yeah,
and I don't think I've seen one of those for under $500.
No.
And it's not worth that because most of the time it sucks.
Yeah, I've had it once, and yeah, I wasn't a fan.
And then there is Single Barrel.
Yep, that's the pumpkin label.
Yes, the orange is pumpkin. Yeah, it's a Single Barrel.
Yep.
I don't know much about it. I've only seen it, and I looked at the price for most of them, and I went, nope.
Yeah, it's the same. And like we've talked about, the thing with the single barrel is you might get that one single barrel, like, man, that's a home run, and then you get another one, it's just like, ooh, you kind of missed the mark on that one. So.
Yeah, it's going to be hit or miss on the aging and all that. Yeah. Okay, so for myself, that's my favorite. It has been opened and drank, obviously. This one just was open, and this one was just open. We poured a little bit out of each one of these. We didn't drink that, but we poured a little bit out, hopefully hoping maybe a little bit of air would get in there. We did that about 45 minutes to an hour ago. Mm-hmm. That way it's not an Elijah Craig thing all over again where I take a sip and I am like...
No, that's just so we can have a good comparison here across the board. Myself, I have had all three expressions, but like you pointed out earlier when we were talking, that I haven't had them all together.
Right. So you never know.
I'm actually looking forward to this because now I get to actually try them all out.
Yeah.
In succession. So.
All right. Well, first one's first. 12-year. All right. Now, like I said, this one for me is one of my favorite bourbons. I just really like it. It's one of those where, you know, I myself personally, you know, I'll spend. Wow, we won't get into that.
Yeah, so 12 years is actually pretty good for a bourbon. Some would say that's a little on the long end of it. Most good bourbons age between 4 to 8 years is a good sweet spot on there because Kentucky has big swings, yeah, in seasons. So 12 year, this is going to give you a lot more of that those leather and cigar smells,
Which is exactly on the nose. It's heavy leather, heavy cigar.
Some of the char from the barrel is going to be heavy in there.
Charred or orange peel, toasted orange peel, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah,
a hint of vanilla, the hint of caramel.
Good stuff.
It is a standard bourbon nose that is even though it's a standard bourbon nose, it is still one of the better ones that I've had in a while.
And for those of you who don't know, Weller is a wheated bourbon. So part of the mash bill is wheat instead of typical rye, barley, and corn.
Which Maker's Mark is a wheated bourbon as well. Yep. So if you like Maker's Mark, more than likely you'll like this, because I do.
Yep.
And so the 12-year, this is a 45 on the alcohol by volume. Yep. So it's 90 proof.
All right, shall we?
Yes, sir. Lovely. Very, very lovely. The palate is almost identical to the nose.
Yep.
The only difference for myself is there's more of a caramel vanilla flavor. That's more prominent versus on the nose. You get those you get the hints of the leather. You get more of the fruit.
Yeah.
More of that toasted orange peel.
I call it the rich palate. It's good. It's a rich.
Yes.
You have fragrant bourbons, you have rich bourbons, and this is on that rich side of it, like you just pointed out. The caramel vanilla hits really good.
Mm-hmm.
You get heavy flavors on the leather, the orange peel, a little bit of the citrus in there. This one leans more rich, I think, to me.
It's like Bavarian cream on top of cocoa.
Yeah, it's actually a very good description.
It's a great pie, by the way. Graham cracker crust.
No, yeah, Weller 12 is good.
There's a reason I like this.
You too? It's like, what foods do you like?
All of them. The good ones.
The good food.
The good food. All right, so Antique 107, 107 proof.
So this is, of course, same mash bill. It's the same.
Is that the original?
This is
the original bourbon.
The 107. I don't know. That's a good question. I have to look that one up. But I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
it's been around for. I remember seeing the original bottles online. People have found.
I always wanted to try like the raggedy, bottle from
the 1920s,
covered in mud, and it's like, well, the cork's still in it.
Yeah, it's still good.
Maybe
it's only lost maybe 30%, but try it out. I would, I totally would.
I would too.
A bottle that's over 100 years old. You try that. All right.
Okay, so on the nose, I immediately get a difference than the 12-year.
Yeah. It's a lot lighter.
It is much lighter, even though the proof is higher.
And it's more fragrant.
More the baking spices.
Yeah, it's on that fragrant side of bourbon. Floral.
Now on the 12-year, on the palate is where that burnt orange peel really came out. So far on the nose, that is heavy on the nose.
Yeah. Not
nearly as much leather or cigar or however you want to phrase it.
Correct.
Those darker notes. It's not nearly as many. It's not as prominent. It's all still there.
And if I'm not mistaken, Antique is aged 4 to 6 years, but I could be wrong. Because I feel like what they do with Weller is it's like 4 to 6 on your this one. I believe this one as well. Not entirely sure. And then 12-year, of course. And then the The antique collection, William Larue Weller, I believe is 10 to 15, if I'm not mistaken,
Okay.
somewhere in there. But they don't do age statements on the BTX series. But
No, this is their original, or it says the original Wheated Bourbon.
oh, they say that on all of them.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So Weller was the
Okay.
original Wheated Bourbon. Little fun fact.
Yeah, these are all blended. None of them are single barrel or anything like that.
Shall we?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
It hits and it's gone.
Yep. It's very short,
Um,
but it's like a nice warm blanket. Just
to me, it's more like those hot towels you get on the airplane. You put it on and you feel amazing, and then suddenly you're like, "Where did it all go?"
Yeah, where'd the heat go? And I just,
That's what this is like
you
for
left with
me.
a cold, wet blanket. Or
Yeah,
a
basically,
towel in your
little-
hand. Yeah.
Cold wet towel that you throw it, or that you hand to the person handing them out or picking them up at that point in time.
Nice.
It's got a lot more of the baking spices
Yeah.
on the palate forward over anything else. All the same flavors are there. They're just less.
So right now, between the two, where are you leaning?
I'm the 12 year.
You're still on the 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is good.
Mhm.
I just prefer more of all that flavor.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's definitely more complex. And I think that has to do more so with the aging.
It does, because a lot of now if you have high proof and aging, that's when you really get that complexity, and that's what's
I
next.
think that may be where we're at. So, as I mentioned, I think this one's 4 to 6 years, just like the antique, but we are coming at a higher proof, being full proof. So, let's find out.
Okay.
I think that's one we'll have to compare it to too, so we can get a hold of a William Larue Weller.
I'm not paying that.
I say we. I mean him.
I'm not paying that. Not for the ones I've seen.
No. Yeah, it's ridiculously overpriced on secondary.
Okay, so on the nose,
Oh yeah,
immediately I think of this.
that one. Yeah. Yeah, you get a lot of that nose complexity with the 12-year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking maybe they do age it a little bit longer, maybe closer to that 6-year mark.
Maybe where they did this,
Yeah.
and then that came out.
These two got together, had a baby.
Sure.
Let's see. Shall we? Good.
Yeah, I just want to say on the nose,
Mhm.
it's not identical, but it's really close.
Yeah, it is. It's very close.
Okay, it's really, really close. Just slight variations in what.
So I know you said the first hit I got more of the caramel and vanilla, which this has that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel that citrus, that orange,
That
is
citrus is leading as well.
There's a lot more in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the nose. There's more citrus.
It's like if this one was more complex, is that one.
Right. Well,
Or I'm sorry, vice versa. This is more complex than that one.
Yeah, it's yummy.
So yeah, this is
It's the love child of the
Yeah.
other two.
it is warm like this. So my personal favorite, I like Antique 107 if I don't have my hands on
That
this
full
one.
proof.
Yeah.
So this flavor profile is this with the warm blanket.
Yep.
Now this has a longer finish
Mhm.
than this one, but this one has longer finish than this one.
That one.
Now this is 114 proof. Yep. So it has the higher alcohol content, so it's carrying more complexity.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do the research to find out if they put any of the information out about aging on that,
I am
which
curious.
will be in the description. What I do find, and we'll go from there. But this is
Very good.
This is by far my favorite.
Yeah, and that's what I found with all the bourbons that I've tried, that sweet spot in proof between 100 and 120. This one answers the call easily, especially on the higher side. And I find, and which is surprising because the complexity on this one isn't really so much there.
No, there's
as
really
this,
none.
But I think that's because of that aging.
The aging, yeah.
But this one, I am curious when you find that out what the years are on that, on the full proof. But it's damn good.
Yeah, this is great. Now I can't recommend anyone buying these, just due to the price fluctuation.
Yeah.
I can recommend if you see it in a bar,
Right.
give it a shot.
Yeah.
You know.
Pun intended.
Yeah, pun intended. There you go. No, don't shoot it. Sip it,
Please.
You're wasting your money if you're shooting it.
I'll shoot.
But yeah, it is. All three of these are really good. They'll always have a spot on my shelf.
Yeah. This one, I don't know if I would pay secondary for, but if I could find it at, your local liquor store that isn't ABC controlled, or is ABC controlled pricing wise, or they're selling it for a good, decent price, grab it.
I don't mind giving mom and pop a little profit.
Yeah. I'm not saying like,
because I'm all about the little guy sticking it to the corporate guy.
Spend what is comfortable for you. But these, yeah, hands down, I would.
Yep. Now, if you've seen our show, you've seen us do this, where it's like that. That's not the case. These all three, they're all great. It's just gonna, honestly, it's just gonna be what you prefer. I'm gonna guess you're like this.
Yep. I like the higher proof stuff.
Yep.
And nothing against Weller 12. If I came across it and all I came across was this, I'd buy a Weller 12. It's worth it.
Okay. Well, here in a few months, we're gonna be having a get together. No, not a get together. An event. We're gonna be doing an event. There's gonna be raffles, all that stuff. Here in the upcoming weeks, we'll get more details. It's going to be towards the end of January, early February, like the first week of February kind of thing. Like I said, we'll get all the details together. We're basically raffling off a bottle per type. For example, bourbon, tequila, Scotch,
Irish whiskey,
a rye, and a rum kind of thing. There might be additionals, but we just don't know yet. Yeah. We don't have all the details together yet. We just know it is going to happen.
It's in the works.
So, he gave you the... All right. That being said, I've got nothing else at the moment.
I got nothing else either. Just some great wheated bourbons.
All right. Be a good person. There's another way to say that, but then I get in trouble from YouTube. Don't be a beep. And don't drink and drive. Like, comment, subscribe. Now, we say that all the time because when we do not say that, nobody comments, or subscribes. And likes, comments, subscribing helps us get more people involved.
Best way to support the channel.
Yep. All right.
As I talk with my mouth full.
As he talks with his mouth full.
Mom, you're not watching it.
All right. Well, I'm Josh.
I'm Ed.
And this is Scout Reviews. Bye.